Oh my word! Hello, Lisa.
Andrew.
We've been enjoying Patrick Troughton.
We have. We've got one more night of Patrick Troughton to watch.
We?
Yes.
And Patrick Troughton sadly goes by in a flash.
He does.
On Twitch, especially when you miss out the Moon Base, the Ice Warriors, and the Invasion, all of which are available on DVD.
Yes.
With missing episodes.
Yeah. They could have added an extra night to it,
animated,
couldn't they,
yes. Yeah. But
I think obviously tracking down everybody that was involved was quite
animations are a whole different ball game rights wise, I think.
Yes.
But hold up your book a minute.
It's not my book, it's Andrew Pixley's book.
No, it's not Andrew Pixley.
Is it Andrew Pixley?
No.
No. Where his book is then?
It's based on some work that Andrew Pixley did.
Well, then he's sort of involved.
Yeah, but that's Doctor Who: The Complete History. Available now.
Well,
yes.
There's a lot of back issues if you want to start reading them.
And that one is what? Fury from the Deep.
Fury from the Deep, The Wheel in Space, and The Dominators. Let's do a bit of a closer view. Yeah.
And again, just illustrating the fact that of those three stories, only one of them is complete.
Yes.
Which is a shame.
Yes.
But it's interesting that what has been shown over the last few days, once upon a time, if somebody had told me I could see these stories, I wouldn't have believed them.
No.
Because season 5 especially, there was almost nothing you could see once upon a time. No. So we kick off with Tomb of the Cybermen, and once upon a time nothing existed of that.
I remember when that came back into the archives, because
early 90s,
1992. I was a member of the DWAS at the time, and I got the CT. Yeah. And it had.
What was CT? You better say.
Celestial Toy Room. Sorry.
Which was the newsletter.
Which is the newsletter stroke magazine for the Doctor Who Appreciation Society. I'm sorry, I'm using shorthand because I expect everybody that's watching this to understand.
No.
But there might be some new people that don't understand. So hello, new people, if you're watching. But yeah, so it was. I think it was on the front cover, but I think there was also a poster. I had a poster on the wall for years that said the Tomb of the Cyberman has been rediscovered.
Yeah, but it turned up in Hong Kong.
Yes. And Hong Kong.
And it was one of those stories that had such a reputation of being the best thing ever. It was almost like the master tape of it.
Yes.
Could cure scrofula or something if it touched you. It was that brilliant.
Right. Okay.
And yes, it was fantastic to see, and I think it really does hold up. Yes, there's a few bits that you wince at. I mean, the portrayal of Toberman is questionable. And the
fact that the villains are of an Eastern ethnicity.
Yeah. But and the big cable holding him up, and the sort of empty suit of the cyber controller,
or
cyber pope as he's been called,
because he's got a pointy head.
Yeah. But even so, it's still a great story, and you've got that lovely Victoria scene.
Yeah, and it's
father.
Silly. How many times have I seen that scene? And watching it the other night actually made me get a little teary-eyed, and it's ridiculous. I've seen it so many times, but just watching it again. But
yeah, we skip over the Ice Warriors. But again, I remember that turning up in 1988, and 4 episodes out of 6.
It's not bad.
It's not a bad haul.
And as we say, you can watch that one on DVD now because they've animated the 2 missing episodes.
Episodes 2 and 3.
Yes.
Then what have you got? Then Enemy of the World.
Enemy of the World.
And that's only a recent discovery.
And as we said the other day, because I think we said about Enemy of the World the other day, all we had to represent Enemy of the World was episode 3, which is the least interesting of all the episodes.
Even Barry Letts used to say that. Yeah. The one episode we've got is probably the dullest one.
Yeah, because it's just basically somebody sitting in a corridor.
Yeah. But I quite like
Griffin the Chef.
Griffin the Chef is quite fun,
yes.
with his,
With his complaints.
I should have been a dustman, I should never have left Woolloomooloo.
Yeah.
I know the food's bad, but... and Kaiser pudding.
Kaiser pudding.
You whoosh it all up. What's his whoosh up called? But yes.
And it's ridiculous that one of the one of the best actors, and they kill him off in that episode, which is George Pravda.
Yeah.
Because he's just wonderful.
But then you get into episode 4, and the story takes a completely different turn.
It does. It's weird because you're like, oh, where are we going now?
Yeah, and episode 4 was even more unknown because there were no telesnaps for it. So
we didn't know what any of the colonists looked like, did we?
Yeah. So Enemy of the World turned out to be fantastic and frankly better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
I mean, because that bit when Salamander goes down to underground and he gets in that sort of weird pod thing.
Podule.
And it's like, oh, wasn't expecting
what's
that.
Going on here? Yeah.
Because obviously on audio you can't tell what's happening. Yeah. Anything could be happening.
And there was a debate about what year does it actually take place in. Or is it the 2030s or something like that? Yeah. And of course you've got the shot of the licence on the helicopter, 2018.
2018.
So most appropriate that it got shown. Yes. But the Web of Fear.
The Web of Fear, yes.
The Web of Fear.
That is, obviously that is a marvellous story.
Yes, episode 1 is what existed, and episode 1 you got to the end of it and you were so disappointed you couldn't watch anymore.
Oh no, what happens now?
We'll never know.
Is the Doctor going to get blown up? Which obviously he's not, because, he doesn't regenerate at this point.
But, I remember, I think there was what was the thing Melvin Bragg used to present? The South Bank Show. There was an edition devoted to the London Underground, and they used a clip of the Web of Fear in that.
Okay. Because it's a superb set.
Yeah.
In fact, it's so well done that London Underground got quite cross with it.
Yeah, what are you doing filming in our station without permission?
We didn't give you permission. You should be filming in there. And they're like, we didn't. It's a set.
We built it. Yeah.
But I think they've obviously set it. Obviously, it's Douglas Camfield, so it's shot very well. But they've done it so that you don't get that hollow sound that you get a lot of the time when you're walking on sets. They've dubbed over to make it sound more like it would. Yeah.
But that battle sequence in episode 4 is really good, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And again, I was really willing Richardson Morgan to survive when he doesn't. It's like. And I noticed Ralph Watson on Twitter yesterday. He went, "Oh, I've already copped it now. I hear I've already copped it then."
Yes, apparently wasn't Fraser Hines allegedly trying to look in on the chat as well, and he was really pleased that everyone was loving Troughton.
Yes,
and quite right too.
Troughton is superb.
But again, you get to the end of Web of Fear, and there's that frustrating caption: "Next week, Fury from the Deep."
Yeah.
And I remember watching it on DVD with you and going, "Ag!" It isn't.
Because nothing exists from Fury of the Deep apart from
a few clips. But no full episodes.
So there's nothing to actually see that's representative of the story.
And then, of course, we get one of these jumps because, of course, Victoria leaves and then Zoe's just there.
Zoe's there, yes. And you don't get a beginning story because that's the Wheel in Space and that's, that's not complete. So.
But then on to the Dominators. I'd probably say the Dominators, it's either that or the Krotons is probably the weakest story of this of this chunk. But even so, there's still a lot to enjoy in it, I think.
Yeah, they were certainly enjoying, Command Accepted.
Command Accepted, yeah. Dominator Arago seemed to go down quite well, if you'll pardon the expression. And you even get a bit of Brian Cant in there.
You do, not much.
He's not in there for long.
Don't last very long, bless him. But
yeah, the Quarks are an interesting design. I do like the voices, And again, if you listen to the soundtrack of the Dominators, a lot of effort's been put into it to make it sound like nothing else on television. Yes. So
Indeed.
Although it's perhaps not the best, it's still there's still good things about the Dominators.
Even an average Troughton is a good Troughton.
Yeah. And there's sort of Fraser and Troughton in full sort of Laurel and Hardy mode as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good comedy.
There is.
And bits of it. And everybody was excited to see the Sonic Screwdriver as well.
Oh, Sonic Screwdriver!
Yeah, that of course got everybody fired up. And then they experienced the Mind Robber.
Yes. And we actually... Yeah, so there wasn't a video last night because we started watching the Mind Robber
and couldn't stop. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I love the Mind Robber.
Yes, it's a great
it's just so bonkers, and it's that imagery in part 1 of the white void and the TARDIS exploding and the console spinning off into space.
And Zoe's bottom.
Yes.
Zoe's bottom got a lot of appreciation.
But for what is an emergency episode...
Yeah, it's very well done.
The atmosphere. I mean, David Maloney here, just...
Superb.
Directing
just
it.
Superb.
Just right. And then the sheer imagination you get in the land of fiction with Gulliver and the toy soldiers and all of that. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Burnt Horsefall anyway, as we said in the Whodunit piece that we did for episode 22.
Because I would have first seen the Mind Robber
brilliant.
at the Leisure Hive conventions. They had a little video room. It was basically just a telly and a video recorder playing, and somebody would come in and change the tapes every now and then. And I think that convention ran about 4 years.
Yeah. And
I always made sure that I'd go in and see a bit of the Mind Robber each time. Because it wasn't available, and I don't think we had a copy of it. Because let's think, Leisure Hive would have been 1984, the first of those conventions. It's a silly thought that was in Swindon, and Billy Piper was like sort of less than 2 years old, I think, because that was August '84. But there's me watching the Mind Robber in Swindon. But yeah, brilliant story. And then the Krotons.
The Krotons, yes, Robert Holmes' first writing effort.
And again, as Terry Stick said, a bit of a story that the gap sort of opened up and they were able to use it because of Prison in Space wasn't deemed to be such a good idea after all. And,
I think that was probably a good decision.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a very solid story. It's not Holmes's best piece of work.
No.
But you have to start somewhere.
Yes.
You've got Philip Maddock in it.
Philip Maddock. Anything with Philip Maddock is automatically good.
Better.
Yes. Made better by Philip Maddock.
But again, the first time I would have seen the Krotons would have been the 5 Faces of Doctor Who in 1981 on BBC Two.
And it's got some nice comedy in it as well.
Yeah, I mean, at the time people were going, well, why can't you show Tomb of the Cybermen or Macroterror? And the answer was because they don't exist.
They don't exist.
In 1981, there was very little to choose from, Troughton-wise. But tonight we've got the Seeds of Death.
Yes.
And the War Games. Yes. And I'm really looking forward to reactions, especially to the War Games, because I really like it.
Yes.
Terrence Six always says it's too long, and he's talking nonsense. Because
he's allowed to talk nonsense. He did help to write it.
It really...
But it zips along.
And it twists and turns. And yes, there are whole episodes in which they get captured and then they go round in a circle in the plot. And it doesn't advance, but you've still got brilliant characters in there, haven't you?
And James Bree. You've just got to watch it for James Bree.
I won't do the James Bree impression now. We'll do it afterwards.
Yes. But again, Philip Maddock.
Yes, that's
Philip
true.
Maddock and Edward Brayshaw.
Yeah.
If you've only ever seen Edward Brayshaw as Mr. Meeker in Rent a Ghost, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, but let's say no more on that subject. But glad everybody's really taken to Troughton.
Yes, yes. It'll be interesting to see what they make of John Pertwee.
Yes. Yeah, not long till John Pertwee, I should think.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.